Welcome to Land House. I'm Seth. Today I am testing out the iScooter iX5s. This electric scooter has a 1000 watt rear hub motor. It's got dual disc brakes. It has shocks on both the front and the back. Has a total range of 40 miles and a top speed of 28. It also has a 330 pound payload for your body weight. This thing came in a typical cardboard box with plenty of padding, and it was not damaged at all during the transit. The assembly process, though, it gave me some issues. This is the hardest to assemble scooter I've tested so far. The front tire was not assembled properly. You had to put it together yourself, and getting the disc brake in there and getting both of the parts of the axle installed were quite a hassle. So do that inside of an air-conditioned room and have some patience. The instrument cluster up here was also a bit of a challenge to get together. It was all twisted around and wrapped up, and so I had to get those into position and then tighten them down with 3 different sizes of Allen wrench. I think I finally have it together though, and so it's time to do an overview and take this out for a ride. Okay, after about 15 to 20 minutes, I finally got the wheel on here. The instructions say just simply press the center axle through with these spacers, and you got to match up the brakes down here and then go out from this side over here. I think I may have bent the disc brakes a little bit because you can hear them. But I think that's as good as I can get it. I guess they did this because they can save the box size being like, what, 4 inches bigger with the tire. So not worth it, iScooter. Include that already installed with your product. All right, now that I have the tire on there, let's see if it's ready to stand up and be ridden on. I believe this is my 7th scooter to review, and I have to say it is the worst setup for a scooter that I've tested so far. I don't know what to say. It's just a mess. So I think all of this is supposed to turn around here a couple of times. Maybe like this. So your brakes will be down there. Yeah, that's better on that one. Get this here, okay, on off horn, and then over here, this I believe, got to put the brakes down there, and I'm guessing this is the throttle mechanism. So I'm going to take some Allen wrenches here and tighten things up. Now that I have the iX5s totally assembled, let's take a tour around it. Let's start up here at the handlebars. So over here is one of the brakes. As you can see, a solid round handle. This is your headlight. So on is up, down is off. You've got a horn up under here. We'll try that in a moment. The handlebars do collapse, and so I've had to tighten those up, as you can see. It does come with a key. And over here is your instrument panel. We'll turn that on and look at it in just a moment. You got your power button and your mode button, a key, so you can keep this turned off and safe if you go inside somewhere with the key. Throttle is up here, and then your other brake on this side right here. Now if we move down the column, you can adjust this to 3 different heights. You'll just pop this loose, and then also there is a push button right in here that can go into those 3 different heights. I'm going to keep it up here on the highest one because that's going to fit me the best. Moving down here, you've got some really big lights. These, I think, will allow you to travel a lot at night. So we'll have to turn those on here in a bit and check them out. So moving on down the column, in order to collapse this steering, you've got this red hook here, which will unlock the mechanism, and then this little clip here will allow you to fold down that handle. So we'll try that here in a moment. The tires are 11 inches with disc brakes, so if I were to squeeze that, you can see them moving down there. It does have some lights along the side, LED panel. The rubber here on the foot base should keep you from slipping off. It does have a rear kick. There is some lights for brakes. It's got the iX5s logo there on this metal plate. Rear disc brakes, and you can also see the single shock in there and then the double up here on the front. Let's test out those shocks real quick. I'm going to hold the brakes and step on here and hopefully get to see. Oh yeah, it's already very responsive. Very good. Well, that'll either launch us into space or absorb the bumps very well. Let's find out. I have the key. I'm going to place that into the lock here. Turn that on. Press the power button. I got to hold it down just a bit. Maybe a bit hard for you to see what's on the display. There we go. That's a bit better. All right, so the battery indicator is down here at the bottom. You've got odometer up here. It's got miles per hour, and here is the battery voltage, as you can see. I'm gonna go ahead and click this button here. So that's mode 2 is economy, mode 3 is sport, and then lastly is let's see, that one's sport. So what was the first one here? Economy. I can't read that one. And then lastly is sport. Try out the lights here. Okay, both of those have now turned on. They do seem to be quite bright. That's really good. We should be able to also see some lights back here. And when you hold the brake, they blink. That's good. Now this model does not have blinkers, which is fine. Let's try out the horn. Whoa. That actually is quite loud. You could hear that from a good distance. Now that we've taken a look at all the features of this scooter, let's take it out for a ride and see how well it performs. After putting 15 miles on this scooter, I have an idea of the things that I like and don't like about it. First of all, the 11-inch tires are a little bigger than the average scooter tire, and they performed very well over gravel, over pavement and grass. Now, they did not like going over sand. It bogged it down pretty quick and I had to walk. But other than that, the 11-inch tires were great. The shocks also performed well. I hit some pretty serious bumps, especially on loose gravel, and it seemed to smooth out the ride a lot. Now, for some reason, this scooter is very loud. There is a rattle up on the front lights, the power cable in the back rattles, and something in the middle also has a metal-on-metal sound. It was kind of annoying. I guess the one thing that helped is that it would alert people that were walking that you were coming up behind them, but as far as riding for several miles, it became annoying really fast. When going up a steep hill, the battery indicator bar drops down 1 or 2 bars to show that it is struggling. With my weight, I am 215 pounds. My brother tried it, who is about 40 pounds lighter than I am, and it performed a lot better. So even that 40 pounds difference makes a difference with the battery. So keep that in mind. The heavier you are, the more this scooter is going to struggle. As far as struggling goes, for me, I found that the acceleration was a bit slow. I'm used to a scooter that has a lot more torque than this, and so pulling on the throttle and then having to wait a second or two for it to start really going was kind of a disappointment. But once you get up to speed in a few seconds, it does pull pretty good, especially on flat ground. As soon as you hit hills, for some of my hills, it was slowing down to 3 and 4 miles per hour. With my brother though, he was able to keep it up to 14, 15 miles per hour up most of the hills. So it is weight sensitive for sure. The horn on this scooter is very loud and obnoxious. I almost felt embarrassed to honk it whenever I was coming up on some walkers. And yeah, I almost just didn't want to use it at all, except as a joke between whoever was riding with me. We laughed a lot about how loud that horn is. Now the headlights, besides that weird rattle, are very bright and easily used at night, and you can actually drive pretty safely with these. Even going 15 miles per hour down the road, they provide enough light that you're able to get a good view of what's in front of you. Now, like I said earlier, the battery indicator goes up and down based on the amount of hill that you're climbing. But I did get 15 miles in on this scooter with one go and still had 2 battery bars left. So I'm not sure exactly how long of a range you're really going to get, but it did struggle up some hills and was maxed out most of that time. And so you probably are looking at the very least 20 miles on this battery before you have to start worrying about it. I'm in level 4. Let's test the acceleration from a standstill. I'm going to kick off and then pull the trigger here. It's not terrible. I've got the throttle maxed out here and it's slowing down to about 11 on this hill. When I let go, I see that the cruise control has kicked in by itself. Got up to a max speed of 28, and that's fast enough on this scooter. I weigh right at 215 pounds, and this hill here isn't crazy steep, but the scooter is kind of having a problem keeping up with the speed. So, however, the battery was dropped down to 3 bars, but as soon as I stop, it goes back up to full. So let's see if it can take me the rest of the way up here. The acceleration is slow. I'm maxed out at 3 miles per hour here. All right, there we go, a little faster. 6, 7. All right, we're getting a bit more speed now. All right, let's see if we can make it up this hill. Throttle's maxed out. We're going 5. Nope, didn't quite make it. It is just a single hub motor, of course, so may not have quite the power it needs to get up the rest of this hill. I have now put several miles on the iScooter iX5s. There are several things that I like about this scooter, but sadly there are also several things that I do not care as much for with this scooter. So let's jump into those things real quick, starting with the positives. First of all, I like that this has a clear and easy to read display and the modes are easy to change. That feature of this is very nice. Secondly, if you're concerned about your scooter being stolen, it's nice to have a key to turn this on or off so you can take that with you if you're going to have to leave this scooter out somewhere. The handlebars are adjustable in height, so if you are taller or shorter, you can change that. When it comes to the lighting on this scooter, it is very bright and you could easily drive this at night and have no problem seeing where you're going. The shocks on this are great. They were able to absorb the majority of the bumps that I hit. Big gravel, small gravel, rocks, roots, didn't matter. It handled those quite well. The tires on this scooter are 11-inch, and they also were able to tackle some terrain that I wouldn't otherwise have tried. So that is definitely good. Now the footbed on this is maybe a little small, but it's plenty big enough to have your feet resting on here comfortably, and of course having the lights for braking and all that is pretty good to have as well. So as far as that goes, it is nice. Now let's talk about the things that I'm not as fond about with this scooter. Number one is the way the handlebars operate with this pull trigger and the brakes. In order to have the pull trigger here for the throttle, you have to have it kind of up a bit, and it's awkward to have one finger up while the rest are on the brake handles, and it's just awkward. So I prefer a thumb throttle over a pointer finger throttle, and maybe a personal preference, but it's just kind of awkward and in the way. The next thing that I found kind of awkward is the closing or unfolding mechanism of this scooter. The way that it folds the front tire up and you are unable to scoot this around into the back of a pickup truck is awkward. I don't care much for it. Also, the way it closes, it's difficult to pick this up. So I don't care much for the handle that moves the tire whenever the handle folds back. There seems to be 3 different rattles on this scooter. Something on the front lights here, something on the front tire, and then on the back tire as well. So the whole thing just is loud whenever you're driving it. Whenever you kick off from a start, it seems to have a little bit of a sluggish feel. It takes quite a while for it to reach the maximum speed, and so the torque, I guess, is perhaps just a little bit low on this scooter. Now lastly, the thing that was most annoying and set me in a bad mood from the very beginning is the way you have to put the front tire on when this comes out of the box. It was quite a challenge. It took about 15 to 20 minutes to do that, and I did not care much for that at all. So I would say bring this into the air-conditioned room whenever you're doing that, and just be prepared for some frustrations. It's not easy, it's not fun, I didn't like it. Now the frustrations that I shared may just be personal preference, and it may be exactly what you're looking for. So if you want to find out more information on the iScooter iX5s, I will have a link to it in the description down below. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video.